Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Winter Season Showdowns. You're currently watching a best of 5 between Taeja and Violet to determine who's going to get that all-expenses-paid trip to the Winter Championship event in Dallas, Texas. My name is axeltoss. I'm joined by axslav, and before we get into the possible deciding game number 3, MLGProShop.com, we're having a bundle right now that you need to take advantage of. MLG.to/Gunner Bundle. If you purchase a pair of Gunners, you will get a free backpack from MLG, and there you can see both of them on your screen. Again, MLGProShop.com or MLG.to/Gunner Bundle. And that is something you should take advantage of. $80 in total for both the glasses and the bags. You can have the glasses to help decrease the wear of a lot of gaming. Of course, it has an MLG logo on the side of it, and they look awesome in general. And of course, the bag looks awesome as well. Nice amount of storage space in that one too. So definitely take advantage of that. MLGProShop.com. That being said, game number 3. Can Taeja close it out?
He's up 2-0, and he's looking so convincing here. I mean, we talk about being worried that he might have played too much wings, but the thing is
he's a veteran,
and it's every one of his GSL matches is TVZ, and this guy clearly, like his control with the bio, it's controlling bio is controlling bio, and this guy's a master at it.
All right, we'll have to see what happens in game number 3. In the bottom left-hand location, we have your Red Terran player who's currently up 2-0. He's one win away from getting an all-expenses-paid trip to the Winter Championship event. Representing Team Liquid, he is Taeja. And his opponent in the top right-hand location, we have the green Zerg player down 2-0, needs to win 3 in a row. We know he's darn good at Heart of the Storm, considering he just all-killed FXO. Can he convert to victory? He is Azubu's Violet.
I'm trying to think of ways that Violet's got to change things up, because as it is, I mean, that last game, like he felt like he had his game plan, and everything went like he was able to execute his game plan, right? Taeja didn't like throw him off his game, but his game plan just didn't hold up to Taeja's insane late game play. So what's he gonna do? He's have to come up with a new game plan. Maybe Cloud Kingdom is a better map for him. Maybe mix in some infestors like you were talking about. Those, I mean, yeah, they're not quite as good as they used to be, but that doesn't mean they're bad.
Sure.
I mean, you can definitely make them a little weaker than they used to be, and they're still extremely strong units.
You know, the upgrade thing was an issue a little bit later. Obviously, like having to restart on the upgrades essentially when you're going into ultras. Maybe try to start those upgrades up a little bit earlier, anticipating a transition a little bit later. But like, his resources weren't incredible as that game went along, so that can be hard to do as well. I mean, Taeja was just completely on top of the drops, able to get a lot of damage done with that. So do you add spore crawlers to all your bases? It's really tough, but Violet definitely needs to make a few adjustments here. I mean, he wasn't far off from winning that last game, that's for sure. So don't count him out. That's one of the worst mistakes you can make. Violet is definitely a player who can win 3 games in a row, but again, it's against a current round of 4 guy in the GSL, Taeja, who just refuses to lose, no matter what the game.
And this time, Taeja's opened up with a bang, opening with that the Reaper Rush. This is something we've seen used very successfully, especially last. I mean, last used those Reapers extremely well in his match. You want to catch that? It's on youtube.com/official MLGSC2. Taeja says, you know what, Reapers, I've heard they're good. Let me try out a few of them myself. And the way he was controlling his Marines and Marauders the last game, I'm really, really interested to see how he controls these Reapers against units that are clearly faster than him.
Oh, Spine Crawler made just in time there to prevent that drone from falling. But a bunker is completed outside of Violet's main base. He has 12 lings in production, though. Wants nothing to do with this proxy bunker play. Of course, the creep's starting to spread over it a little bit, and it looks like Violet's preparing to try to kill that SCV and then maybe go for the kill in the bunker.
It looks like he just wants to make sure the second bunker doesn't get up. Is he going to try to cut the Reapers off from access to the first bunker? It looks like he just wants to back up, let the Queens take the damage. Of course, Zerglings, well, they don't die super fast Reapers anymore. They can't really catch it. Reapers are just too fast. So, trying to slow down the progression of the bunkers. Now he's going to pull the Spine Core down. Queens will come in first, most likely to tank some damage, and then Zerglings will come in there to finish that bunker off.
All right, Taeja.
Oh, they're going to get the full surround!
The Reaper's still going to get out of there. Violet trying to target down the bunker. No salvage able to happen there. The 2 Reapers going to be scurrying out of their bunker. Not going to get finished. And Taeja is going to have to return home. Nice use of the Slowlings, the Queens, and the Spinecrawler to deflect that aggression. But there are 3 Reapers here. A 4th is about to join from that barracks. So the headache for Violet is not over. He still has to play this really well to get rid of this aggression.
He does. Reapers are coming in here. Oh, Reapers overextended a little bit, but just barely get away in time. As that count grows and grows, he can start picking off those queens. Of course, there's no transfusions available. One of those queens is very weakened. The Spinecrawler can defend the front angle, but they can still jump into the main. And Violet's got to use those Zerglings there to zone out the Reapers, not let them get in and do good damage.
I like how he's extending the creep to try to cover his entire main base. That will help a bunch when dealing with this Reaper play. Taeja trying to find an opening, sees the Spinecrawler at his opponent's front door. Violet needs to keep the queens close by. I thought he had 4 queens. Okay, he does. The 2 are at the bottom of his ramp, but the Reaper's going to try to jump up. The Lings are there. The Reaper's immediately going to back out of there, wanting nothing to do with that. Using the Reapers from the low ground. Nice micro there from Taeja, keeping all those Reapers alive and getting a couple kills.
As long as he keeps doing this, eventually he can pick off the Zergling's 4th. Oh! Queen's going to go down, and Taeja's... now Widowmine's coming into front. You know what he can even do? He can put the Widowmine on the low ground.
Snipe the Lings from the high ground.
Exactly. Jump up single. He's got to be careful about friendly fire, but as long as he jumps the Reaper back down quickly, he should be able to get out in time.
I don't think the Reaper's in range for now. The Ling's going to try to engage those Reapers. A Queen coming forward as well, going to get popped by the Widowmine if it's not careful. Very close.
Dancing at the edge of that Widowmine range. I think Violet did see that Widowmine placed. Of course, it wasn't his vision, so he knows it's out there. He knows he's got to be careful. He's doing a good job of minimizing damage, but on the other hand, Taeja's done a great job of not losing anything yet.
I love how Violet's like incorporating drones as this is going along. He's up to 44 drones to his opponent's 29. So Violet's still prioritizing that economy even as all this is going on. Widowmine taking a shot at the Overlord, which means it's not going to have the time to do some damage to the high ground, and it's what we talked about before, using the Widowmine to try to get that high ground damage done. But again, I think Violet's doing a solid job defending against this.
The first Reaper has gone down, but they're continuing to be annoying. Now he's moving up the front using the Zerglings to tank the damage so the drone can get out. He wants to set up a 3rd base, but gets denied by the Reapers.
Ouch. Widowmine gets a shot off on the drone. 2 Reapers still alive here. Going to try to microwave from those Lings. A hatchery desperately trying to be made here from Violet so he can saturate additional base. Of course, the 5th and 6th gas, so important. Look at this micro from Taeja, keeping those Reapers alive. And he's got Hellions in the mix as well and has the ability to make Hellbats Aspire in production here from Violet. So he's still not out of the woods yet as far as this aggression is concerned. These Hellbats still have the ability to do plenty of damage.
And Taeja, look at his follow-up, cranking out Hellions 3 at a time. He already has the armory down so they can transform whatever he wants. Let's take down that Queen first. What he could actually transform the Hellbat mode to knock out that hatchery. That's exactly what he's going to do. In a Hellbat mode, they're much, much more effective against structures. And it's much, much harder for Speedlings to engage them.
Yeah, the Speedlings cannot engage those Hellbats. I guess more Queens might be the answer here from the high ground, which is on Violet's mind. Spinecrawler going to be crawled forward here to help deal with this. The Lings coming in there, but they're going to roast away to the Hellbats, and Violet's going to back away. And just like that, Taeja up 70 to 64 in supply. The Spinecrawler getting taken out without too much trouble by those Hellbats. Violet just wants to get this 3rd up, just wants to extend the game, but Taeja's saying, no way, sir, I'm going to take down this hatchery. You have no response to my Hellbats.
One Queen comes there and snipes off one of them, but then has to turn away as the others come in there. Violet's going to have to be content with just 2 bases until Mutas come out into play. Of course, Taeja's already got that 3rd going up. He's getting stim pack. He's starting to crank out Marines. The question is, can he get enough Marines out fast enough to avoid damage against the Mutas?
Hellbats. Oh yeah, that's a great point. And Hellbats obviously cannot shoot up. That's one reaction to, or something that can work against Hellbats. They're going to go straight into the natural expansion. Ling's trying to counterattack, but look at these drones. They're so vulnerable, and now Violet is so scared. Really wants those Mutas to get out so these Hellbats don't do as much damage as they could. Look at this Taeja trying to zone them out, but the Mutas are now on the field, targeting down the Hellbats. The drones trying to stay alive just a little bit longer as the Hellbats get taken out, and Violet doing a decent job there. That could have been a lot worse for him.
It could have been a lot worse, but it still was pretty bad. Lost a lot of bonding time, lost some drones, and the Mutas are revealed. Of course, I mean, the Hellbats saw the Spire very quickly, so Taeja should be able to get defenses in place. But wait, he doesn't have an eBay done yet. No, that means he can't build missile turrets.
He's making Widowmines as fast as possible.
Widowmine's a brilliant way to defend, but until they come out, he's only got a few Marines.
Violet has to get so much damage done with these mutas to get back into this game because he is behind by a bunch. Income is 50 to 46. He's behind in supply, taking down a lot of SCVs at his opponent's third base, going straight to the main base. As you said before, there is no engineering base, so no turrets. There's a Thor in production, but a little bit too late. So many SCVs going down here from Taeja, and he's not retreating them. Marine's going to stim forward to deal with this, but a lot of damage getting done there from Violet. That's step one on getting back into this game.
Back to the third. More SCVs under fire. These Mutalisks are just doing insane
damage. Oh no, the tanks! They're vulnerable, but Violet's going to back away. The Thor joining in on the mix. There is something happening in the natural expansion of Violet here. Looks like a couple drones were caught off guard.
Must have been a little bit of a helling run by or something like that. Meanwhile, Taeja's got his back of his natural locked up tight with the the Mutalisks. If they try to go in here, there's a Widow Mine. It's going to do tremendous damage. Only get the one kill here.
2 Widow Mines and a turret.
Oh, now Speeding's coming around to the third base. Fresh mules dropped there. No defenses in place yet. The mules have to pull back, and you know what? Taeja keeps him alive, but he does lose a little bit of time. Meanwhile,
Widow Mine getting a decent amount of damage done onto those mutas, but that's exactly what Violet needed. Now he's up in Harvesters 51 to 41. He's not out of the woods just yet. I would still consider Taeja ahead. He has that he has those Thors being added into the mix, securing that third base, dropping all of those mills, but Taeja or Violet might try to target down this third and really try to get a lot of damage done there.
Oh, 2 Thors are pushing his mutas back. You know, one thing to consider, Taeja's got a great composition and he's stabilized his defense. I don't think Violet can get much done on the offense, but the fact that he didn't have any E-base doesn't only mean he took a lot of damage because he didn't have missile turrets at the time, but it also means he's significantly behind in upgrades. 1-1-1 just now started for Taeja. Violet's already halfway done with his 2-2. Baiting speed is about to finish, so what Violet can do now is he can use those upgrades to say, I've got a stronger army. If you walk out in open field, you will die to my superior upgrades, and so maybe it's time to progress to new tech.
Don't want to throw away units here. Taeja getting some key kills there onto those lings. Every single unit matters in a game as close as this. Baneling speed is done. 2-2 about to finish here for Violet, but Taeja feels like he can be aggressive. More Banelings in production, and I'm wondering if we're going to see an infestation pit anytime soon, but it looks like the Violet's just going to stick with the lings, Banelings, and mutas at this point.
If he can crush a small army here, that'll be the first
He has the
step.
ability.
Oh! He's coming in here. The medevacs are lifting up, but there's mutas in the field.
Mutas trying to run as fast as they can, igniting the afterburners to get away from those mutas. Violet definitely caught Taeja off guard there, but Taeja very quick in his reaction, loading up the Marines, igniting those afterburners, and getting out of there before too much damage could be had there from Violet. But does Violet have the ability to be aggressive now? We have tanks here on the high ground. We have Thors as well. We have Widow Mines and Marines, but it's not a planetary.
It's not a planetary, but there's, I mean, the positioning on Taeja's defense. He's got Widow Mines in all the right places, adding more and more double Thors, and he's cranking out Hellbats to supplement his army. It's very, very hard to be aggressive in tight spaces with Zergians against Hellbats.
Violet was about to go into the natural, but realized his opponents might still have Widow Mines there. So backing away immediately, we have Taeja coming forward to this watchtower with the extremely mobile Marines and medevacs. Mutas trying to get some threatening stances there, trying to potentially draw his opponent off guard, and now he's going to focus on this third base. But again, he has to be careful. There are Widow Mines up there. As you said, the position. Taeja's going to love his position on the high ground. I feel like the best move for Violet might be take a fourth, advance your tech, keep up with upgrades, and you know, focus on denying the fourth rather than trying to be aggressive towards that third.
The hard part Violet's going to have to deal with is as more Hellbats are added into this competition. Marine Hellbat Siege Tank is such a tough nut to crack for a Zerg player, of course. Even with the Vipers, Blinding Cloud doesn't affect the Hellbats so much. If the tanks can knock out some of the Banelings, the Speedlings, which normally tank the damage, they can't do it. The Speedlings can no longer be your tankster from a Zerg player, so you've got to come up with a different answer. Violet's answer is 13 more Mutalisks. He's really going to try to leverage their grass factor. I don't know if I agree. I mean, there's 2 Thors out, and one thing that Taeja's doing is continuing to upgrade the attack on his mech to help the Hellbats, the tanks, and the Thors. Very mech heavy, which I think makes his composition much, much, much stronger.
All right, Violet needs a... Oh, there was a Marine drop there in the main base. Muta's going to... the entire army of Violet going to try to pursue this medevac, and he's just going to ignite the afterburners back to the 4th base. And this is where Taeja is focusing all of his attention. Drone's going to be scrambling. Violet definitely caught off guard here. Going to move his entire army in here. So many Mutas in this competition. Baneling trying to lead the charge. The tanks a little bit late on their siege, and Violet going to go for ultimate destruction. Baneling's exploding into everything. Mutas picking off the siege tanks, and the medevacs are churning out of there as fast as they can. And just like that, Violet with a 180 to 147 supply lead. Taeja on the run. Hellbat's going to try to hold the front, but there are plenty of mutas and banelings here. Taeja forced to back up and split, but does Violet have too much?
He just very well might. Taeja caught with the unsieged tanks and forgot to bring his Hellbats with his army. Violet's taking full advantage, now going straight for the production line. I love that move. Taeja's units will be coming out, incrementing out one by one into a Zerg army with claws waiting to embrace them. There's still a lot of medevacs, but their Marine force is so small, and Bane just took out a good chunk of what was left.
Oh, only a few Marines remaining. There's the GG from Taeja, and Violet secures game number 3, saying, I'm not going down without a fight, and now the series is at 2-1. What a fantastic game there. So back and forth throughout. I thought for sure Taeja had it won, but then Violet got the magical, the surprising mutas out. That always gets me when I'm playing Terran against Zerg. The mutas always catch me off guard. It happened there with Taeja. He didn't have an engineering bay, tried to get Thors out, tried to get Widow Mines, but then like half the trick is getting the Widow Mine in the proper location. We saw him put him at his natural, but so many SCVs fell in the third base, in the main base, and Violet able to just slowly increase his upgrades, increase his units. And of course, the key part of that game was the final minute where Taeja went for that drop. Great idea there, catching his opponent off guard, trying to attack the fourth, but then Violet just like, you know what? A move just threw every single unit he had at Taeja. Taeja had no response.
He really didn't. I mean, the army Violet had is designed where the goal is it's not going to be insanely cost efficient as the armies wear down, but you can overwhelm a Terran army if you catch it unprepared. That's exactly what he did to Taeja. And once you overwhelm one army, use the momentum to follow through, get right in the production line, and from there on, the game was over.
Yeah, the key there was Violet not backing away. Sure, he could have secured a victory and then backed away and tried to do something else, but very important there, just preventing Taeja from being able to get his units together, to get everything reformulated, to to have all of his units, rally together to properly, deflect that aggression from Violet. Violet able to power through with that counter aggression and convert himself a win in game 3. So, Violet is going to come a little bit closer here in this best of 5. Taeja is still up 2-1. Taeja still 1 win away from getting that spot, but Violet not going anywhere. We'll see if Violet can continue to win, which he has to do in game number 4. Stay tuned.